Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm glad you are all tuning in. I am just driving back from doing a little pickup, and I was rehearsing a couple conversations that I had in my mind earlier and wanting to share with you. Hey, Ruth, is that Jessica on there? Wanting to share with you. Hold on one second. Let me clean this off. Not a whole lot better, but wanting to share with you why you don't want to be the woman that gets picked. And it might sound crazy. Who's that? Nick. It's kind of far away. Tell me your name so I can see your name. I like interacting with people, and especially if you're gonna be part of the fam. We can check in, and I can. Hi, Nikki. So one of the things that I wanted to share today, what I was thinking about, was why you don't want to be the woman that gets picked. And if you stick with me for a second, I think this might really be kind of encouraging to you. But a lot of times I'll talk about, nature. And I use the example of a flower and how a flower begins to grow and blossom. Hey, Susan. And, the flower goes through this process. And so often having the opportunity to work with women every day, I run a women's training facility. And so every day a number of women are in, and we're training. And, of course, with the physical training and exercise, a lot of conversations get to come about being. And so I get to have fairly, intimate conversations with women about their lives outside of the training, outside of the exercise. And so one thing I see over and over again is this process where, women you want to be with someone, you want to be in a relationship, and sometimes as a single person, even as a person that's in a relationship, you want to be picked. You want to, in essence, you want to be valued in someone's day. And so you want to be picked. Philly Moms Club, thanks for joining. And so you go through this process of wanting to be picked. You want, choose me, select me, pick me. I want your attention. I want your time. I want your energy. And so you have this desire where you want to be wanted. You want to be valued. But what happens is, a lot of times as a man, if a man picks you, there's a problem, okay? And so when a man picks you, or you're in a relationship and he picks you, what happens? Think about it like this. Let's take it away from the male-female relationship and that type of situation, and think about if you're walking along in the garden and you see a flower, okay? You see a flower, it's beautiful, it's grown, it's showing all of her glory, and then all of a sudden, hey, Leah, all of a sudden you pick that flower. Well, what immediately begins to happen to that flower is all the beauty that's there, it may be there for a moment, but the beauty that's there begins to die because you've picked it and you've taken it out of its natural environment, and you've taken it out of the place where it was growing and it was thriving, because you want to put it in a situation that's best for you. You want to take it to your house, and you want to put it in a vase, and you want to do all these things, and now you have to create this artificial atmosphere for this flower. The same thing happens in a relationship. So if I, as a man, see you, and she's so wonderful, she's beautiful, she's really intelligent, she's doing her thing, right? And all of a sudden I'm picking you because I want to be with you. I want you with me, and so I now pick you. Well, the moment that I start to pick you and I start to bring you towards me, I've seen all your beauty, I see this wonder in you, but now that I've started to pick you, I'm really saying there's something about you that I want for me. And so I draw you to me, and I want you around me, and I want you in my space, and I kind of try to make your world about me. You don't want to be that woman. You don't want to be the woman that is picked. Thanks, Philly Moms Club. Think about it. You don't want to be the woman that's picked. Why? Because you want to be in that atmosphere. Don't look for someone that's going to pick you. I don't even care if you're married. Okay, you could be married, you wake up every day, and you're with the person, and you're wanting them to pick you. No, that's not what you want. You are looking for someone that cares. Not someone that's going to pick you, someone that's going to care for you. And if you start to get in a situation where you find someone that's going to care for you, a good gardener, this is what I call it, it's a good gardener process. A good gardener doesn't pick his flowers. A good gardener cultivates his flower. He sees it where it is, and he says, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of trying to pull this flower into my atmosphere, I'm going to tend to this flower where it is. So I'm going to get down into the soil. I'm going to get my hands dirty. I'm going to pay attention to her. I'm going to give her the right soil. I'm going to give her the right fertilizer. I'm going to give her the right amount of sun. I'm going to give her the right amount of water. I'm going to do whatever it takes to take care of this flower in her environment. Philly Moms Club, thank you for sharing that. So think about it. A good gardener, okay? A good gardener is going to see you where you are, and he doesn't have to. He's not insecure in where he is as a man. He doesn't have to pull you underneath him. He doesn't have to try to keep you all tied next to him, because he sees you where you are, and he says, I will help you live there. I will help bring out the best of you there, because I'm a good gardener. I care for you. That word husband, think about it. Everyone says, oh, I want to be married. I want a husband. The word husband is gardener. Okay, think about it. Stop saying, look, we're going to switch the whole game up. I love having talks with women, because as a person that does women's empowerment, as a man that wants to see women empowered, I get to talk to women from a perspective of a man. So I'm not going to tell you what your girlfriends tell you. I'm going to tell you, as a man, some stuff that will help you filter out some of the nonsense. It's good to have girlfriends, but your girlfriend can only tell you things from a girlfriend's point of view. I'm a guy. I'm going to tell you from a guy's point of view. So I can tell you, listen, that's not a good look for you. And I'm telling you, as a woman, when you're desiring just to be picked, I'm so needy, I just want to be picked, you lose your authority, you lose your power, and as a flower, you begin to wilt. Why do you want to empower women? Why do you want to empower women? They must submit to us. Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up. And ladies, gentlemen, stick with me. Hear me out on this. I have no problem saying that a woman is supposed to submit to a man. No problem with that. Because check this out. Submission, true submission, if it's going to happen, if you want to truly have power, it doesn't come from having to force someone to submit. See, if you care, love, cherishing, effort, all that, if you put all that into place, if I care for you, if you know that I'm seeing the best of you, if I'm investing in you, if I'm doing what it takes to care for you, a woman has no problem submitting to a man that's going to go all in to care for her. It's the fact that when men want to say, listen, do what I say do, just because I'm saying do it, without the care. When there's that disconnect, there's going to be no submission. And I'll take it away from male, female, because I spent half of my morning with horses in a ranch. A horse is a powerful being. And not to compare a horse to a woman, but we're talking about relationship. So, in that relationship, a horse is very powerful in and of itself and can do whatever it wants to do, has its own mind, has its own power. But through relationship, that horse will submit to a man, submit to a person because of care. Not because I beat you upside the head and so now you have to submit. That's not submission. That's not submission. That's control. Okay? I'm glad you asked. I love these conversations, because I think that sometimes we want something to happen, but sometimes we don't discuss it just, from a strategic point of view. And so as a man, here's what I've learned. If I love you, if I care for you, if I show effort towards you, then guess what? There's a level of control that you'll give me, because you'll say, you know what? I know that I'm in good hands because he's a good gardener, because he cares. I can not worry. I don't have to worry about this. It's trust. Absolutely right. I don't have to worry because I know he's here to do no harm. And so often in our lives, in our relationships, we never become comfortable enough or safe enough that we feel like, you know what, I can relax, I can put my guard down, because we still don't know if the person's there to do harm. They don't pay attention. I was talking to a woman just recently who's been in a relationship with a person, they're married 20-something years, okay? They got time, they have time in 20-something years they're married. And she was telling me about how, her husband was preparing a meal, so, they're going to eat spaghetti, and they're going to have spaghetti, and, she doesn't at all like sauce on her spaghetti, right? She doesn't like red sauce. But yet and still, he prepares, after 20-something years of being married, he prepares her spaghetti and still puts sauce on the food. And she says to me, he never listens to me. He just doesn't listen to me. And so as a woman, she's in an unsafe place where she doesn't feel cared about because she says, this person's not listening to me. He doesn't value what I'm saying. I'm telling him for years. It's been this way since I've been a child. I've never liked red sauce. But yet and still, he keeps giving me red sauce. And I've never liked it. He doesn't listen to me. And so right now, as a woman, she feels picked. She says, he'll take me and he'll pick me, but he's not caring for me. He's not in tune to me. There's a difference between being picked. Because, yeah, when he goes out and they go out on the town and she's with him, oh, yeah, he has a great, beautiful trophy piece. But on the inside, she's dying because she's been picked. She goes home, she doesn't feel cared about. She doesn't feel cherished. She just feels picked. I'm just with him because I've been picked. And so that's the problem. That's the problem that we have. You don't want to be a picked woman. You want to be a cared for woman. You want to be a woman that someone is showing sincere effort to. And effort, for all the fellas, effort costs us something. It's going to cost turning off the TV or learning and listening. Learning how to, maybe even our communication skills of how to listen. It's going to cost you something. Care is not easy. You know, one of the things that happened today with the horses, one of the horses broke through the fence. So now the fence is broken down. The boundary is broken down. But for something that I care for, I now have to rebuild the fence so that they're protected from the elements, that they're in an enclosure where they're not getting away or being harmed. Because they can run out, run down the street, and then they're in harm's way. So now, because I care for them, I have to do what I need to do to protect them, to make sure they're in the healthiest environment. And so that's the message. That's what I wanted to share. You don't want to be picked. You don't want to be selected. You want to be cared for. You want to even start talking about what a good gardener looks like. And what does it take to be a gardener? And so if you're single and you want to be in a relationship, oh, I want a man, you want that, and it's natural to have that desire. But if you're in that phase of life, you want to start thinking about that good gardener, that someone would care for you, someone would nurture you, someone would look to see the best of you come alive versus just having you to be in their space as this beautiful element that decorates their life. It's a different situation. You're married, perhaps it's time to have that conversation with your spouse to tell them, listen, I simply feel picked. I think a lot of women know this, but there is so much power in it being said. Yeah. It's a tough thing because our natural emotions, our natural emotions are, we want, sometimes we'll be in the relationship and now we have someone and someone calls us, we interact with them, and it feels really good. And in the beginning it might be great, but over time you begin to just feel picked. And I'm telling you this real talk from my perspective as a man who was married and then got divorced. There was just so much time that I felt picked. I'm not telling you this just because it's something good to say. I'm telling you this because I spent days, I spent nights crying, I spent nights frustrated that I just felt picked. That I didn't feel valued in my relationship, I just felt picked. Like, I'm here, yeah, I'm your husband, we're married, but I just feel picked. I don't feel like you see me. And so we would have those conversations. I don't even want a gardener yet, just son. Hey, you know what? The awesome part about that is this. When you're in that phase of development, sometimes that's what you need. Sometimes the gardener is not even present. Sometimes all you need is the sun. You need just the elements of life to help you grow without anyone tampering with you. You don't even need the human involvement. You just need what you need around you because it's helping you grow. It's helping you develop. And you'll grow and you'll develop. And then maybe at a different time, you may think about it like this. You know what? Because I'm in this place now, it's okay for me. I'm okay with someone coming in and I'm okay with them touching the soil. I'm okay with them involving themselves in my environment. It's not always time for that. Sometimes, and you know what? Sometimes the gardener isn't ready. Sometimes the gardener needs to learn how to garden because they can come into your environment and mess it up. A real good gardener, you know what they're going to do? They're going to sit back and study the seed. They're going to study what's in you. They don't need to be all up in your face. So I think sometimes we get in such a hurry because we have this instant gratification society where we expect things to happen right now. You know, we send a text message, it's there. We snap, we periscope. And so everything's so instant. But sometimes you need to just back off and study. I think it's so much more helpful when you can back off and you study. You begin to see the environment. What does she need? What does he need? How does he function? How does he flow? How is her day to day? You know, what stresses her out? What makes her tremendously happy? You know, start to study. You know, you study to show yourself approved, and you never have to be ashamed. I guess someone could rake my soil at some point, but that's it. You know what? If you let them in to rake your soil, you just got to make sure they're not raking up the flowers too. So, you know, it's a process. It really is. And I think if we begin to guard our gardens, then, you know, in time we can grow healthier. You know, where we're not just letting everyone come trample through and, you know, destroy the flowers. Or we're not just letting someone set up, you know, this, you know, enclosure where we're just trapped. We need a healthy environment. And listen, if you let too many people come through your garden, you're probably going to be a little bit hesitant of letting someone else in, because what happens? They come in, they mess up your garden, and then they leave you with a mess. Like that, we don't need. So this was my encouragement to you today. After having that conversation, I wanted to just share this message, you know, because like I said, I've been there, and I know what it is to want. You want someone so bad. You want to be connected to someone, but you don't want to be picked. Trampling dream killers. Exactly right. Exactly right. And you know why people dream kill? Because they don't have a dream that they're pursuing. And so, let me just tell you, if they're not actively pursuing a dream, they will trample on yours because they are not looking. They're not looking to enhance their own life. You can only love someone else as you love yourself. And so if you're pursuing a dream, if you're going for a dream, if you're thinking about life and cultivating life, if your whole process for your own self is, I'm making life happen, I'm encouraging life, then when you see other people, you won't trample their stuff because you value yours. You know the value that you put on your dreams, and so you won't trample someone else's. And so be careful hanging around people that don't have dreams, or that are not aspiring to anything, because they will dream kill simply because they don't want you being greater than them. It's a tough reality. And sometimes that person lays right in the bed with you. And that's dangerous. So you just have to be careful. Guard your dreams. Guard your heart, because out of your heart come all the issues of life. So guard your heart. So I just wanted to share that. Hopefully it's been encouraging to you. Hopefully, you know, you could take on a different perspective on your life, and, you know, just the value of your life and the beauty of your life. You know, as a woman, if you can see the beauty in you and cause someone to hold off, you know, and hold off, you know, those that would want to be in your life. Hold on one second. How you doing, man? Then your life will grow and flourish and prosper the way it's meant to. There you go. You don't want someone trampling your dreams. Thank you. You don't want someone trampling, you know, what's meant to be beautiful. You are destined to be beautiful. And so guard your environment. Guard just the seed of beauty that's in you, and let it grow. Believe that it's there. Believe that you have value, and let it grow. All right. I love you all very much. Stay beautiful, amazing, and strong. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for all the involvement and interaction today. Have a great day.